I remember back in the day when my kids were little and I would sneak up behind them and I would, boo, they would get all scared, and then I grab them and hug them and just laugh with them for a few minutes. And about a couple minutes later, they would come back in the room and say, Daddy, scare me again. And I tell you, sometimes that's what life does to us all. It scares us, catches us off of guard. And so sometimes you may have a loved one, they were going to come through when you needed them and they let you down. So sometimes you're left with holding the bag and not knowing how to take care of the situation. So it scares you to even trust somebody else because what this person done. Another time you may be on the job, you know sometimes you be running late. You know how it is. And now you got all these points accumulated and they about to fire you. So you're scared, don't know what's going to happen to you. And guess what? You're scared. You're left not knowing. You feel that anxiety. You feel like, man, the walls are closing in on me. The world's about to overwhelm me. But that's on the negative. Not only when you're scared in the negative sense, but when you're scared when you get a promotion. I don't know about you. You was promoted from elementary over to middle school. That was scary. I don't know about you, but you were familiar how the classes work. You familiar with, you had one class versus multiple classes with multiple teachers, and now you have to be the youngest again. Now you have to go into an unfamiliar situation. Sometimes that's a very scary situation to be in, starting over again, because life sometimes will give you a new hand. And sometimes it's a good hand, but you have to start at the bottom and work your way back up. And so when you get promoted on a job, you move from one level, now they promoted you to management. That's starting over again because you don't know how people are going to receive you. You may think that your co-workers are now going to turn on you. You're going to feel like, man, I may not feel like I'm adequate, I'm well equipped to do the job the way it should be. And sometimes you don't trust that you have everything it takes to win. But I want to challenge you. Don't beat yourself up when you get a new position or you get a new start in life. Challenge yourself to say, scare me again. So I'm going to give you a few ideas of what can really help you to master being scared again. So the first thing I want to challenge you with is face anxiety or face the challenge of being anxious. When you face that anxious piece that's in you, sometimes that butterflies, that rumbling in the belly that sometimes hit you because you don't know what's about to happen. You have to tell yourself, I have everything I need to win. You have to speak to yourself life over your situation, because if I'm in this spot, I've been chosen for a reason. You have to encourage yourself. The same as what David did. I don't know if you're familiar with David in the Bible. I'm not going to give you all the Bible, but I'm going to give you this one point. He was in a dark space in his life where he found himself by himself. Not even though he was by himself, but he found himself alone. Nobody else was agreeing with him. So he had to do what? He had to encourage himself because everybody was looking to kill him. Even those who were on his team were looking to stone him. But they were blaming him for the failure. But he had to dig deep to say, man, I can overcome this situation. And that's exactly what you have to do. You have to tell yourself that you have what it takes to be great, no matter what it looks like.
Hey, I want to thank you for always rocking with us. And I have something I want to give to you because we want to make sure that we empower and inspire you to be great. So I just released an ebook, and this ebook is really going to help in so many different areas in life, especially when you find yourself stuck, not knowing which way to go. This ebook has been designed to help you through those moments. So please check out the ebook that's here in the description below, and hey, let it help you to be great. Thank you.
So the second thing you have to do, you have to be comfortable at being uncomfortable. Meaning that sometimes you may not understand what's going on, but you have to be willing to stay there. You have to be willing to listen, be willing to learn, being around other people who seem like they talking on another level. Sometimes you think that you're talking a foreign language. I know I've been in those spots when someone's speaking and I'm like, man, am I the only one that don't understand what we talking about? But guess what? I have to be in those rooms because that really is going to push me to work harder, to push me to be uncomfortable at being greater than I am. And so don't run from it, but embrace the challenge, embrace the push. It's going to help you to be a better person. Because even though you may not understand calculus or algebra or even regular math at one point in time. But when you embrace that, you've done the work, you did the study, you did the extra things that you needed to learn, guess what? You learned those things. And that's the same thing on this next level you're moving into. When you embrace the change and you step up and say, hey, no matter if I don't know what's going on, I'm going to still figure it out. I'm going to run to the fight versus running away. And so that's the challenge you got to be willing to do. You got to be willing to step up, hold your head up high, and let's go get it, baby. And then the third thing we got to do once we step up and embrace being uncomfortable, now we have to plan, do it, and then review it. And so that's the three things we got to do now. We got to go out there and make a plan, not always understanding everything through and through, but we're going to plan what we think we know. Then we got to go do it, and then we review it. Because guess what? We may get it wrong. We may get 9 out of 10 wrong, and it's okay. But you got to do something. You have to put a strategy, you got to put a plan in place in order to move in a direction that's going to help you to get to your place where you're trying to win. And so, yes, don't beat yourself up because you got it wrong. Just review, what did I do right and what do I need to tweak to make things different. Now that we make those necessary tweaks, get a strong team around you. Get the right people who are going to tell you the truth, going to tell you what you need to hear, not just what you want to hear. And definitely trust, hey, now we got another plan, we got a strategy, we're going to take it back to the drawing board and do it again. Keep working on becoming better, because the more you work at it, the better you become. That's the same as when you learn how to swim, those who know how to swim. Not the first time you get in the pool, I'm pretty sure you may not know what you were doing. But the more you practice at it, the better you got it. And that's what you have to do in this life. You got to be okay with being bad before you be great. And so that is the ticket to being the best version of yourself. And yes, be okay with being scared again. And when you are scared again, you're moving in the right direction in life. Because in order to get to the highest level that you have been destined to be, you have to be okay with being scared. And because that is going to take you to higher places. If you like what you just saw right here, check out this next episode. It's going to bless you even more. Be great.